Hi, this is Chiatro. We're going to be talking about Brand. Brand is the game made by Nine Dot Studio. Nine Dot Studio are a studio up in Quebec. They made this game on the Xbox Live Indie game area, and it is now on PC. You can buy it over desura, and you can also vote for it on Steam Greenlight if you like what you see. It's an action platform where you get a sword, you build up the sword with multiple powers, and as you add powers to the sword, when you get to 15, you finish the sword and you go through the final dungeon, and you see how it goes. Now, the options themselves are a bit limited right now. It's certainly a port. It's got a slider for music, a slider for sound effects, 2 languages, English and French. They're from Quebec. It's got song info, so when you get into a mission, you can see what the song is, who plays it. You can rebind the controls. Pretty simplistic. And there's multiple resolutions. These are the resolutions available: 6 by 10, 16 by 9, 16 by 10, and old school. I don't even know. You can see. I can't even see that anymore. That's too tiny. But that's the idea of the resolutions. Now, we're going to go ahead and play this thing. Now, I am recording in 720 right now because it had some frame rate issues when I ordered it up with OBS. But it does do 1080, and I'm sorry about that. I'm going to try to do everything I'm going to try to do everything in 1080 when I can. Now, let's go ahead and look at the game. There is 2 save slots I have right now. One where I just have the most basic part for the sword. See, I went through 5 minutes, got that, and one where I have a built-up sword, but only the most basic powers. Nothing past level 2. It's ready to go to the last dungeon, but it's not a very good sword. That way you can kind of see some endgame type stuff, and you would obviously have a better sword this when you got to the endgame because you would plan things out. So we're gonna look things over here though, so you can see. Now, when you get to the main area, this is the town. There's only 6 spots to go to. There are 3 breakers, so you can talk to a guy. You can say, hey, maybe there's poison, which takes damage. The enemies take damage every time you hit them. Demon coating, so when you block, you damage things in front of you, and if you block for a long time, you take damage. Sun dust, you do critical. In this one, this just makes our other powers better. This makes you do more damage, and this makes you do longer and better dash attacks. And then there is the wizard, who gives you fire damage with your strong attacks. He gives you a teleport with your dash, and he makes all your attacks cause blades to strike behind you. Now, when you go there, you see silly little text lines. I almost feel out of place at the bottom. Children love my robe and wizard hat. Anyway, we'll go ahead and pick one, and then we'll go into the dungeon. You can see it. Let's go ahead and go for teleport. No, dash. We're gonna go for dash. Now we're just going for level 1 dash. The missions get harder as you get more into them. Right now we're just going for level 1 dash, so we're not doing anything complicated with that. And it says, well, let's get the text right out. It says, you want to sharpen that blunt toothpick, don't you? For any old blade, it'd be just fine. But this blade's supposed to be fit for a king. I'll need all new tools for that. With ruined castles, rumored to still have a chest full of masterwork smith to his long room. So, definitely okay. And now we've got a mission. Only 3 areas the missions can be: the Necropolis, the castle, and the mine. We're going to pick the castle. And there we go. It tells you what music's coming up. It's Space Odyssey. And there's jumping, of course. There's like the strong attack. There's the attack. There's this attack. Combos up. Strong attack. Not as fast. This attack does 5 damage. This attack does 15. And then you have a dash. We'll go through one enemy right now. I boost this up, and we'll go through more. Dash does 10 damage. I can jump. Low or high, depending on how long I hold it. And if I go in the air, still do that. Still do that. It goes all the way down, so I can do that. There's also blocking. Blocking is important. Some enemies flash white and then attack you. That means they're going to break your block and do while reduced damage, they will still do damage. And you can see that I hit him once with this attack and once with this attack, so he has 16 to 20 hit points. That is the amount that you must have. I don't have. And so we'll go ahead and beat up this guy. Go to this platform. There's a fly. There are only 4 types of enemies in this game. Fly is one of them. He spins around, and then he comes after you. Some flies have several dashes that they do in a row. They're different colors. You'll recognize more powerful enemies. And some flies just have one, some do one and come back. There are various movement patterns and variations in the enemies, but there's only 4 basic types. There is a map for every mission. So right here I can see that if I go one block to the right and then one up, I'll get to where the tools are. It doesn't always give you it as exact. Sometimes it's pretty rough. The instructions it gives you, you're like somewhere on the half map, so there can still be some searching, but exploration's a big part of this game. That's kind of how that works. I'm going to zip through this guy, smack him in the back, and then I'm past his head. Okay. There we go. You can see that his range is actually further than mine. There's the manticore. So those 2 are the troglodytes. And past there is a manticore. He is another enemy type. These are the most dangerous enemies, those manticores. You don't want to get into a melee fight up in their face too much because they do a lot of damage, but when you're away from them, they start spamming the range attack, so it's part of the trick in this level. He's just going to spit, and if I go over there, that fly is going to so I gotta find a way to... Sometimes you find yourself using a lot of hidden enemies here to get past certain things. Okay. I'm gonna jump back up all this. Now, it actually has a fine frame rate, and these jumps don't seem like something that would happen in a normal game, but when I'm playing with OBS on, for some reason the frame rate drops, and most games don't do that. I don't know what the purpose of that is. So I walk over, I slash once I get the chest, and that's enough to, when I go somewhere safe and I have 5 seconds, I can either return to the village. Within 5 seconds, I will be back in the village. And I turn it in. And you can see that I've got 1 dot there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to the power log on my own. I push the pause button, hit the power log, you can see that I've got 1 sharpened and 1 refined. Now, as you get further along, more bubbles, I guess, on the meter for it, the higher level missions for it are more difficult. So level 1 dash was I got the chest. Level 5 dash is going to be very difficult. They're all going to be, every time you do it, they're always going to be the same. While building the sword varies, the missions themselves are not random because they are static. They're always the same. And the areas are always the same. Now you can do more in the areas, like when you open the door will stay open, so go back and do more stuff in it, but there is only as much replay value as the sword variation, which is pretty varying, but the areas themselves and the lack of enemy variety can hurt it for some people. So you can see that I can also control with the mouse, but I'm using my Xbox controller for it. It's made on Xbox Live, it tends to control pretty well. The mouse controls aren't bad, but I have multiple options on the PC, but it feels better for me. So I'm going to go ahead and return to the main menu now. We finished that. And we're going to go to sort of endgame stuff, so you can kind of see the combos. The sword's ready to face the trials, I can go into the depths and things it contains. I finish the sword, I've got to go down to the main dungeon. That is where we are going. So you can see my sword has a whole bunch of effects. So everything you do to it changes up the look of the sword. And you can see this one's just got level 2 stuff. I just did this one different. So nothing too powerful. It's kind of a weak sword in this case today. Now, but there's something, there's the shadow power. And you can see that there's a little light beam that appears when I strike that adds an extra range. It doesn't add that much range, but it does add some, and it is a combination of 2 powers that I got. They cause that. And so that is a example of the combined power things that I mentioned. Now, I'm going to show you another one. The little balls up here that can heal me. Or I'll actually show you this one. Sometimes an explosion of fire destroys everyone in the area. There's the cell second thing. Now a little orbital field button. And there's another one. And there's 3. When that fills up, I will heal you. I will heal some damage. And so those are the various things. Now, these all require you have multiple powers put together to combine them. It only does this when I put LBS on, so don't judge the game by that. But you have seen what this game is about, what it does. There's the main dungeon, and you finish that, you have the finished sword, and you can take it there. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hope it gave you an idea if this is something you want to vote for. And you don't get a map for the end dungeon, even though you get a map for most dungeons. And if there's anything else you'd like to see, go ahead and let me know. I'll show you the options. We don't have a finished one to show in the thing that's end game, the arena. But I believe you've seen everything you need to see, so I'm going to go ahead and exit this.